Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to What's the Damage, the old WTD question mark here on my channel. Joined today by a very special guest, the goddamn fly in my house. It keeps, buzzing around and smacking against the window that I closed there because it's a freaking idiot. Flies are smashing through transparent objects thinking they're gonna go outside, but if I open up the window, it's not gonna wanna go outside. It's like it's a pet or something wants to stay in here with me, So you guys might actually just hear a random buzzing in the background. That is the damn fly. But anyway, so today I'm going to be continuing my little trend of recording sports vlogs, because whenever I do a sports game on my channel, like a whole playlist, which in this case is NHL 21, I like to record, corresponding vlogs talking about athletes, the sport itself of ice hockey, which has been working out so far. And today is going to be a more generic thing inspired by a conversation that I had with my cousin some time ago. And honestly, my cousin is like, whenever I talk to him about something, it usually leads to me recording a video. We always talk about a bunch of really cool stuff, and usually it inspires me to create, kind of a script of sorts here. So, yeah, I guess you could call it a script, I kind of know what I'm going to talk about already. Wearing my famous baseball jersey, the Bronx 02 thing. I think this is baseball, it's a gift by... a gift from another cousin of mine many years ago. My cousins are awesome, dude. They give me stuff, It's just, I would invite them to record videos with me, but they're a bunch of pungarees. Anyway, so today I'm going to be talking about sports commentators, but in a more broad sense. I have a very strong opinion about something that might not resonate too well with a lot of you who watch sports, but just hear me out, okay? Hear me out, let me explain, and maybe you guys will understand what exactly the title means, okay? When I say that sports commentators are going overboard. Now, let's take a wider look at this whole thing here. People who comment on sports games, they are essentially spectators just like us. Right? The same way that you watch a game on TV or watch it live, but then again, if you're watching it live, you're not going to hear the commentary, are you? That would just be weird. Okay, so it might apply more to those who watch games at home on their TV sets. That does make a lot more sense. You actually hear the commentary. But depending on the region, depending on the country where you watch sports and the language that the commentary is in, it can get really freaking cringy in my opinion, because some sports commentators here in Brazil, for example, sometimes they go way too overboard with their enthusiasm. They exaggerate way too much the plays that they call, the way they narrate the goals and some of the things that happen, the fouls. So I think that sometimes it just seems more like it's like an actual spectator, a fan, a supporter watching the game rather than somebody who's actually doing their job, which is to narrate it, or comment, offer analysis or speculation. I think that commentators should always keep a level head, and not go too crazy, because if they go crazy, the fans go crazy, and we're supposed to. We're there watching the game, supporting our team to go further. So it's okay for us to go crazy, but when a commentator does it, I think it's just a little strange. Like it's a little too cringy, And here in Brazil, they do have a habit, depending on the sport that they narrate, but usually all of them. Normally, it's like soccer or football or American football, gridiron. They go way too. It's like they're psychotic. When there's a touchdown, they start screaming at the top of their lungs. It gets really embarrassing. And honestly, in my personal opinion, it kind of takes away from the actual essence of the game you're watching. Now, I have a very simple but possibly unpopular opinion about commentators in sports. Well, in my opinion, they are not spectators the same way that we are. They are there to do their job, and their job is to try as hard as they can to keep things in a calm level. They are there to pretty much tell you what the hell is going on the TV, because they're not just sitting there watching the game like we are at home. They are there in the sports cabinet, whatever the hell it's called, and they are watching, and they have the obligation to give us information pertaining to what the hell we're watching. So there is a way to do this. I understand that sometimes this is another thing that I'm against: a sports commentator narrating or commenting a game that for a team that they support, because naturally they are always going to give more support to their own team, and I've seen this happening a lot here in Brazil, where two teams are playing a soccer match, and then the commentator might actually support one of the teams that are playing, and he's going to very visibly be more in favor of his team than the other ones, you know, the other one, you know. So that also takes away from the essence, you know. Now, it's not very similar to rigging, which I talked about some time ago. It's completely different, but I still think that it's too much favoritism, you know. I mean, it's pretty much like you're watching a supporter of the team like talking about the game while you're watching, you know. I mean, anybody can do that. Like, I could take any of the teams that I support in any of the sports that I watch and go inside of a sports little thingy, the cabin, whatever it's called, and like not even narrate, but just basically pretty much tell you everything that's happening with my team and give them my support and talk more about them than the other team, you know. And that's a total lack of transparency and, in my opinion, professionalism, you know, because you're supposed to narrate what you're seeing, what we're seeing, you know. You're supposed to tell us, you know, guide us through it, because not everybody who watches a sports game knows what they're watching, you know. Me, for example, I'm starting to get into ice hockey and gridiron football now, so if I'm watching a game, I expect the narrators or the commentators at least to explain to me what the hell is going on, you know. What is this? Like, how did this happen? Why did it happen? How many points is it, you know? So it really complements a lot more my own research into the sports that I see, you know. But when they just like they so visibly just kiss ass to one team, it gets really annoying. And like, in my opinion, there should be a limit. Like, they're not supposed to scream and like shout out like crazy, jump up and down like a supporter would, you know. Because I understand that being a sports buff myself, I understand that it does give you a lot of emotion, you know. When you're watching a sport, depending on what it is, if it's your team and they're going really well, they're trying to win a trophy, I understand that there is a lot of emotion, tensions run high, and you really want your team to win. That's totally understandable. But still, man, like us supporters, it makes sense for us. But if you're there giving a narrative experience and telling us what you're seeing, you're not supposed to act like a supporter. Because then, like, for example, here in Brazil, they have the habit of screaming "go" whenever a team scores, you know, and it's like "go" for like 3 minutes straight, but without actually telling us what the hell happens, you know. It's really annoying. I used to like it, but now I don't. It's freaking irritating. I really like to watch soccer or football, and if you live in Europe, you know, with English commentary like the Premier League, because they actually narrate the damn game. They actually do their jobs. They comment on what they're seeing, you know. If it's a goal, you know, it's like, wow, it's amazing, and it's in. They scored and this and that, you know. They keep a level head. They're much calmer than here in South America, you know. Now, I understand that each country has their own culture, especially within sports. They do things their way, you know, but in general, I really do think it's much better if you just like relax, you know. Let the supporters go crazy, man, or else it's all hell is gonna break loose, you know. So in my opinion, like sports commentators, they are essentially spectators, but not to the degree that we are. So they shouldn't act the way that we do. Now, as with everything in life, there are exceptions. You know, there are a few exceptions to this rule that I have here, you know. There are a few commentators, you know, here in Brazil where I live that actually, they do a really good job of invoking the emotion, you know. They really narrate and like celebrate the goals, but for both teams, you know. But that's what I like, the transparency, you know. It seems you can't tell which team this person is supporting, because they are giving both of them equal attention. They're giving both of them equal emotions, you know. Every goal seems like a really good celebration, you know. Everything seems so amazing. There are some commentators who are so transparent that it's like they're robots, you know. They just comment. There's not too much emotion when they celebrate a goal or they narrate, you know. It's like they actually do commentate on what they're seeing, and these are my favorite kinds of narrators or commentators, you know. The reason I'm saying narrators and commentators is that I'm not sure if it's the same thing or if they're two different things. In my native language of Portuguese, actually no, my native language is English, but here in my country, you know, in Portuguese, there is a difference between the two terms, so not sure how it works in English, but you guys get the idea. So it's like, and outside of Brazil, I think that they are much better at what they do because they don't show too much emotion. Usually not showing emotion would be a bad thing, but depending on your line of work, it's actually good. The less emotion you show, the better, you know. Emotions in sports are better for, you know, the supporters, you know, the ones who are in the stands watching the games or at home, you know. Like, we're the ones who feel emotion. If you're a sports commentator, it's not like you're not supposed to or not allowed to. That's not what I think. I just think you should kind of hide it a little bit more, you know, because then you're going to distract from the actual game, dude. You're going to take away from the essence of us, you know. And I understand that it's probably not a very popular opinion, you know. I understand that there are maybe some sports narrators that are going to get really peeved if they watch this, but that's just the way I think, you know. I think that they are starting to go way too overboard, you know. If you want to celebrate a goal, that's fine, but I don't know, try to keep it short and simple, you know. Don't over exaggerate and make it look freaking like you're demented or something, you know. That's just the way I think. You're not supposed to agree with me, you know, but that sorry, you're not obligated to agree with me, but that's just the way I think, you know. This has been a very short vlog because I didn't really know how much more I could elaborate on this, you know. I think that it's a very negative opinion that I have about it. I don't think that they should do what they do, you know. If I don't sound very enthusiastic, I'm sorry. There are a few factors behind the scenes today that are really freaking keeping me down. And if you guys notice that I'm glancing behind the camera, it's because I'm using the mirror to see if it's still recording, because it's acting up today. I don't know why, but it's so far so good. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here though, you know, another short little sports oriented game. And I watch sports, you know, soccer / football, gridiron football, NHL, you know, hockey, you know, basketball. And I have this pet peeve with commentators here in my country. I always like to watch everything in English whenever I can, because they seem to actually do their job properly. They know what they're doing. They don't just freaking go crazy all the time like actual supporters, you know. So yeah, but depending on what your guys' opinions is on this, shout out in the comments below. Let me know what you think, if you agree or disagree, you know. Let me know if you actually prefer these kinds of over the top narrations, you know, or if you're like me and you just want something a little calmer so you can go over the top later. But yeah, and if you happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel, because hey, I release videos every single day. And also, while you're at it, you might as well hit the notification bell, huh? Because, well, like I said, multiple videos a day, huh? So yeah, make sure you stay up to date with my uploads, and having some cool stuff coming soon. Sorry about the lack of enthusiasm in this one. I'm just so tired and hungry and cranky. But anyway, that's it, guys. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen.